Hey everybody, I hope y'all had a great Independence Day yesterday. We're about to go over our weekly live training. Just getting everything set up real quick. So meanwhile, let me know what you guys did for Independence Day. I played some video games, and then went over to a friend's to watch fireworks in the pool. So that was really cool and nice. Okay. All right, so today I'm teaching you guys why and how to track your workouts accurately, basically to prevent plateaus, because nobody wants to hit a plateau in the gym where you're still working incredibly hard in the gym, but you can't beat the strength level that you're currently at, and you're not building muscle anymore. Nobody wants that. So before we get into that, I will say, so these tips are going to apply to literally everybody of all levels, from beginners, intermediate to advanced lifters. But at the beginning, it's going to apply more so to beginner lifters, just because I'm going to cover the basics. And but as I get into it, there are going to be tips that a lot of advanced lifters can take as well. That's going to benefit them as well. So, why? Let's first cover the why. Why you should be tracking your workouts. And the reason why is it's going to help you to achieve progressive overload. Every single time that you work out, you should be aiming for progressive overload. Now, can you achieve progressive overload every single workout as a beginner? Yes, it's possible if you have an effective workout plan. But as you get more and more advanced, it's not always going to be linear. You're not always going to be able to achieve progressive overload. But that does not mean that you shouldn't aim for it every time you work out. You should aim for it every time you work out, especially with the way that I teach you guys to work out, which is the most effective and efficient way to train, which is where you take your sets to failure. You only have to do one set per exercise, and you only have to lift 2, maybe 3 times a week. Some people just once every 4 days. So it's extremely effective. So what is progressive overload? So progressive overload is a principle of strength training and hypertrophy training that advocates for the gradual increase of the stress placed upon the musculoskeletal and nervous system. And this gradual increase of stress is achieved by becoming gradually stronger in being able to either use more weight at the same amount of reps or more reps at least the same amount of weight. So that means every workout you are either adding more weight and being able to do just about as many reps as you did last time, or you're adding more reps at the same weight that you were able to last time. That is progressive overload. So basically, progressive overload means that you're getting stronger. If progressive overload is not happening in your workouts consistently, because like I said, the more advanced you get in your training, it's going to be harder to achieve progressive overload. But if you're consistently not achieving progressive overload, you're not getting stronger, and you're not building muscle mass. And so tracking your workouts can help to prevent that from happening, those plateaus from happening. If you don't track your workouts, then you're basically just screwing around in the gym. And you're leaving a lot of gains on the table. I see a lot of beginner lifters, especially, make this mistake. They'll just go into the gym. They may or may not have a specific workout. They either wing their workout or they do have a specific workout. Whether it's effective or not is irrelevant to this training. But either way, they're not tracking their workouts. They're not tracking how many sets they did. They're not tracking how much weight they used and how many reps they did. And that's a big mistake because you cannot trust your memory to go into next week workout and be able to remember exactly what weight you did and exactly what reps that you did. And then also on top of that, they're also not taking any noteworthy notes about their sets, which can be a big game changer. We're going to get into that later on. So basically, if you're not tracking your workouts, you're screwing around and you're basically sabotaging yourself. You're hindering your ability to make progress. And then also, if you're not tracking your workouts, you can't keep challenging yourself to be better in your lifts, like stronger or more reps, which is another form of strength. So again, you can't challenge yourself, which again, all ties into that progressive overload. And so tracking your workouts, literally everybody should be doing it. But the more advanced that you get in your lifting, the more important that it is that you track your workouts so that you prevent plateaus. So now let's cover how to track your workouts accurately. And that is the key phrase here, tracking your workouts accurately. So some of you guys who are familiar with, the basics of tracking your workouts, you're going to be familiar with like how to list how many sets you did, what weight you did, and numbers you did. That's a given for you guys, but just for the sake of the beginners, I'm going to show you guys a quick example. Really, really quick example. So let me share my screen. Okay. I'm just going to type it in the chat here. Okay, so I hope you guys can see this okay, but I'm in this bottom right corner. So let's say you're doing squats and let's say you're squatting 225 pounds for, let's say you do it for 5 reps. So a good way to track that could be 225 at 5. And this is the weight that you did, and this is the reps that you did. And if you do a second set, you could do something like 225 at 4 reps. And that's how you would list your multiple different sets. Oh, dang, it looks so weird right now. It's like all jumbled up together. Okay. Anyway, let me show you a better example, actually, guys. Okay. Okay. So I think you guys can, oh wait, no. Okay, here we go. Okay. So here's an example of just some exercises. So let's say you have squats. You're only supposed to do 1 set of 5 reps. Again, you'd list it like 225 pounds at 5 reps. You squatted 225 pounds for 5 reps. That's how you note it. Or let's say you were doing leg press and you did 400 pounds at 10 reps. And then your second set, you did 360 pounds at 10 reps. That's basically the basics of how to track your workouts in terms of weight and reps. But as I briefly mentioned before, you shouldn't just be tracking that, how many sets, weight, and reps that you did. You should also be giving, writing additional contextual notes about the sets and the reps that you performed. So let me pull that up again for you guys. I'm going to cover that. Okay. So this is what I mean by contextual notes. So okay, so let's say you squatted 225 pounds for 5 reps and you were stronger this workout. Okay, that shows when you go back and look at your notes, you can see that you achieved a form of progressive overload. That's awesome. You achieved a big goal there. Or let's say you performed these sets and you had the same strength, but you had better form. That is another form of progressive overload. So at the very minimum, you should be aiming for at least better form to indicate or to show that basically your body is getting stronger. You're achieving progressive overload. But that's not always going to happen. Okay, so let's say you're doing leg press, you performed these sets here, and you were weaker during this exercise. But again, give contextual notes. You were only weaker because you didn't rest long enough. So then that just means that, like, hey, next time around, you need to make some more time for your workout so that you have adequate recovery time between your sets so that you can better achieve progressive overload. Because there is science, by the way, guys, you should be resting at least 2 to 3 minutes. I always say at least 3 minutes between all of your sets, because there is science that shows that not only do you perform better, like strength wise, when you rest at least that long, but it also delivers more hypertrophy, which are muscle gains. And then, okay, so let's give another example. Let's say bench press, you bench 200 pounds at 6 reps, and you're weaker this time, but again, it was only because you didn't get enough sleep. Okay, so then that's going to indicate to you or to your coach, if you're working with a coach, that, hey, like, we need to prioritize our sleep. If we're not sleeping enough, like if you're due for a workout day tomorrow, but you didn't get enough quality of sleep, with the way that I teach you guys to train, where literally every single workout, every single exercise matters. If you didn't get enough sleep, go ahead and skip that workout day and just rest another day so that you can be fully recovered and fully prepared to work out again the way that I teach you guys to train, which is training to failure, so that you can perform your best and actually achieve progressive overload in that workout. If you didn't get enough sleep, you more than likely, especially the more advanced that you get, you more than likely are not going to achieve progressive overload. So in a sense, it's kind of a wasted workout. So you always want to prioritize recovery. Now, the next big one that I want to get into, this is something that I have really been benefiting myself personally. In this, I haven't really taught you guys in the group, but I teach my clients this, that because I have my clients take their sets to failure, I will have my clients do partial reps once they reach failure. Like once they cannot do a full rep more, I'll have them do partial reps after that. So as an example, like let's hold on. Okay, so let's say you're doing leg extensions and you're doing 200 pounds for 6 reps. Well, if you're training to failure, and let's say you were able to get 6 full reps, then I will have my clients do partials after they can no longer get full reps, and they keep doing partials until they can only get about half of the range of motion. So let's say the client did 6 full reps, and then they were able to get 2 partials on top of that until they were only able to get half of the range of motion. So the reason why it's important to notate it like this, like 6 full reps plus 2 partials versus 8 reps total, is because if you say 8 reps total, but you don't give context as to how those reps were performed, then it can be harder for you personally to keep track of like what your best was in a set. And it can also be like more difficult, like if you're working with a coach and trying to communicate with them, like what exactly you're doing in your exercises, your sets. So this is something that I started to do personally, and I'm teaching my clients to do as well. I'll make myself do as many full reps as I can, and then I'll do partials after that, and I will notate it specifically like this. Because let's say Okay, so we know that the more advanced in your training that you get, the harder it is to achieve progressive overload every workout. um, so let's say like last week you performed 6 full reps at 2 partials on leg extension. So this week, ideally it would be best to get 7 full reps and 2 partials, right? Well, sometimes that can happen, but it's not always going to happen. So what you can try to do instead to achieve an easier or more attainable form of progressive overload is still get the 6 full reps. If you can't get a 7th full rep, then make yourself do 3 partials. So in a way, you're getting more, basically, so mechanical tension is the main driving force behind muscle hypertrophy, which is muscle growth. And as you get closer and closer to mechanical tension, momentary muscular failure, there's going to be an involuntary slowing down of the reps. Like you're not trying to slow it down. It just naturally slows down because your muscles are getting fatigued. And so we want to achieve mechanical tension, mechanical failure, so that we fully, we want to achieve mechanical failure so that we are basically getting the full benefits of mechanical tension, which is the main driving force behind muscle hypertrophy, muscle growth. So let's see, what else do I have for you guys? Okay. Yeah, so basically, if you can't make yourself do an additional full rep, the next time you work out, make yourself do another partial, and you're basically getting a form of progressive overload, and you're creating more mechanical tension. Now, I will say real quick, I do not recommend doing partials on every exercise. I only recommend doing them on machines, most isolation exercises, and some back compound exercises. So let me give you some examples. You can basically do partials and very, very safely train to failure on machines like think of like chest flies, leg extensions, pull downs. So anything that's machine based. When I say isolation, so if it's not, okay, so let's say it's not a machine. Like let's say you're doing a dumbbell bicep curls. That's an isolation exercise. You're predominantly working the biceps. You can safely train to failure and do partials with an exercise like that. Or lateral raise. Lateral raise works the delts. That's an isolation exercise. And so you can safely train to failure and do partials on that. But something that you would not want to do partials on are something like squats. If you can't get another full rep more, like just stop. Like you reached failure on squats, you're good. You also wouldn't want to do it on deadlift. If you can't get another full rep on deadlift, don't make yourself do partials. Not only is it dangerous, like you could cause injury, you also like cause more central nervous system fatigue, which the more advanced you get, the harder and harder that's going to be to recover from, both in your workout. Like say you have more exercises after that, it's going to make your workout like really extremely difficult. And it's also going to make your recovery throughout the week much more challenging. You also wouldn't want to do that on like bench unless you have like a really, I wouldn't recommend it, but I guess technically you could, unless you have a really experienced spotter. But yeah, but something that you can do partials on, like train to failure, plus do partials on top of that, are compound back exercises. Whether it's a machine or not, some compound back exercises, obviously. Like, deadlift is obviously a back exercise. I wouldn't do that on that. But like, say you're doing bent over row, it's perfectly fine to like do as many full reps as you can, and then do partials once you can't do full reps after that, because you could just drop the weight on the ground if you can't get any more, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine. So it's just to give you guys an example, or like chin ups. I'll do like I'll train to failure on chin ups, and I'll basically stop as soon as I can't get like another like half of the range of motion, and that's perfectly fine. But either way, just listen to your body always. But yeah, if you guys have any questions on any of this, just leave it in the chat. Let me double check, see if y'all have any questions. Okay, cool. All right, I hope you guys liked this training, and I hope you all had a great Independence Day yesterday, and I will talk to you guys soon.